So guys, it's about that time. I have to give the SHO back to the owner. I was lucky enough to have it for about 3 weeks. With that time, I did come up with some things I liked about the car and also some things I did not like about the car. But I did like the SHO. I'm sad to see it go. I did have an option to buy it, but I'm holding off at the moment because I did a big project here. But in the future, who knows? On this video, I'll give you 5 things I like about the car and also 5 things I wish that were better. Let's go ahead and start with 5 things I liked about the car. And one of them is the remote. And the main thing I like about the remote, obviously it has the normal function like keyless entry and keyless start. But I do like that I can actually start the car from the outside. I think you have to lock the car first. And then you double tap the top here. There you go. I like that function because I usually park my car outside of the garage, and in the morning it can be very cold sometimes and you have frost on the windshield, so I can set it up to where I can start it before I get in the car in the morning, and it will defrost the front and the rear glass. That function comes in handy. And I think in the summer also it will be a very functional one, because if you park in the sun, I can just start it and it will start cooling the car before I get in. So that's number one thing I liked about it. So the other feature I like is the heated steering wheel. You can see it right here. And this is a feature that I never thought I needed. Getting in the car in the morning when it's cold and just hitting that button right there. It's electric heat, so it comes on very quickly, and even before the rest of the car warms up, your hands are already warm. To me, it was surprisingly useful, and I actually quite enjoyed having a heated steering wheel. So the third thing I really enjoyed about this car is the power. You can get used to this power with 365 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. And the way the car actually delivers power, this car feels like a V8. You don't get the turbo lag with this car, and that's because of the high compression ratio of 10:1. It has 2 smaller turbos pushing around 12 psi, and the torque usually comes as low as 1500 rpms. I do like the idea of having the torque at the low end, which makes the car feel a little bit more enjoyable. So the fourth thing I liked about this car and the transmission is the rev matching. I like that it can actually try to match the speed of the engine and the transmission. It made it more enjoyable. Although the car is automatic, it'll do everything by itself. Rev matching and the pedal shifters made me feel like I am engaging with the car a little bit more. So the fifth thing I like about this car is the interior. Obviously, it's full of leather. Although this leather is a little bit cheap, it's okay because this is a car that cost less than $50,000 when new. But you do get heated seats and cooled seats, and even the back seats are heated. So that's a plus. But these seats also, they'll give you a massage. So I do like the massaging capability on the front seats. Like your grandmother can get in this car and drive and not have backache at the end of the drive. I also like the exterior design of the car. It has aged well. Like the third and the fourth generation of the Taurus, they were not that good looking, but this one, they hired a good designer and it shows, and it has aged very well. So now let's get to things I don't like about the car. Number one is the weight. This is a heavy car, weighs over 4,300 pounds. And you can feel that even in the corners. I like the suspension. The suspension is great. The power is great. So it handles the weight very well. But this particular car has a performance package. And I would expect a performance package to make the car a little bit lighter or give it a little bit more power. So for the top of the line of the SHO, I would have liked to see optional seats. Maybe you could have option for Recalo seats that are way lighter, save some pounds here. This takes us to the second feature I don't like about this car, and that's the braking. When you brake on this car, you can feel the brakes are not that adequate. Obviously, this is an 8-year-old car, so the brake pad or the brake rollers maybe need replacement. But I do think, especially on the top tier, the car with performance package, I would have expected way bigger brakes than what this car got. 2013 and up, they did get better brakes and the calipers were a little bit bigger, but even then, it's not adequate. And I think that's because of the weight. And you can feel it when you're trying to stop from high speed. So the third thing I don't like about the car is rear visibility. It's very poor. Even from there, as you guys can see, all you can see is the seat and then you can see the sky. Good thing they have a backup camera, but when you're driving, if someone has maybe a Miata back there, you're not gonna see it. So rear visibility is an issue, and lack of heated mirrors. You don't have heated side mirrors, and in the morning if you park outside, I looked everywhere. I looked on this screen, I looked down here. There's no way to actually heat those mirrors. The good thing, they do have bright spot monitoring, but I still want to actually see from the mirror. And to me, lack of heated mirrors and poor visibility on the back is a safety issue. So the fourth thing I don't like about the car is maintenance. This is a heavy maintenance car. But again, if you're getting a sport car, it's in that territory. You have to maintain your cars. But you do have to change oil quite often because this is a turbocharged car. You do have to change transmission fluid and PTO fluid. Some people do it quite often, but you can do it every 50,000 miles because the fluid in that PTU, it degrades very quickly because of heat. It could be an expensive car to maintain, relatively speaking. So the last thing I don't like about the car is the noise. There's no theater. When you drive it in normal mode, you don't hear anything. You don't hear exhaust, you don't hear the engine. It's very quiet. I guess that's good for daily driving. And I get it. This is a GT cruiser. When you drive in a regular mode, if you're just driving to work, you just want to get in, get from point A to point B, being comfortable as you can. But when you put it in sport mode, it does wake up a little bit. You start hearing the exhaust noise, and I like that part about it. But this being forced induction, I do want to hear that turbo noise. I want to hear the blower valve. I want to hear induction noise. This one, you just get the exhaust. That's it. So in normal driving mode, you hear nothing, and that's fine. But in sport mode, I would have liked a little bit more theater. I would have liked a bigger tachometer. It helps me engage with the car, especially on a car with the pedal shifters. I want to see the tach in the middle. The speed can be digital. The speed can be somewhere down there or here, but the tach, I want it to be here. It helps me engage with the car and have more fun with the car. And I think all the sport cars should have a larger tachometer in the middle, or at least be the same size with the speedometer here. So that was my 3 weeks with the car. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The power is addicting, and me coming from driving a truck as a daily driver, I can actually get used to the comfort in this car. I can get used to the heated steering. I can get used to the pedal shifters, the power, heated seats, better radio. Because my truck is ancient. My truck has nothing in it. It just has the air conditioning and a very old audio system. With that being said, I do have to return this SHO to the owner. It was great experience. I would not mind owning one. And if you have one, you can let us know what you actually like and you don't like about the car. So thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.